And a very warm welcome to English News Package with radio and television Tonga news for the hour. Making headlines, the Chinese State Councillor and Foreign Minister Wang Yi has arrived in the kingdom to sign cooperation documents. Police have confirmed the death of a 42-year-old man from Pili who died after police pursued him yesterday afternoon. And there are more efforts to assist the elderly of Havelu following the two natural disasters in January as well as COVID-19. Now with the news in details. The Chinese State Councillor and Foreign Minister Wang Yi has arrived in the kingdom to sign cooperation documents on disaster prevention and mitigation, people's livelihoods and other matters. Paula with the details.
The Honourable Prime Minister told Radio Tonga News details of the visit will be provided in a press conference tomorrow. He added Wang's diplomatic visit will first have his audience with His Majesty this afternoon before the government meets with him this evening. China's Foreign Minister Mr. Wang began the tour by visiting the Solomon Islands, where he stressed that China will pursue further developing relations and expanding cooperation. His visit to Tonga is part of China's diplomatic relations visit to the Pacific Islands, including the Solomon Islands, Kiribati, Samoa, Fiji, Vanuatu, Papua New Guinea, Cook Islands, Niue, and the Federated States of Micronesia. Meanwhile, since the establishment of diplomatic ties in 1998, China and Tonga have maintained frequent high-level exchange and increased cultural and people-to-people exchanges. China has offered government scholarships to around 300 Tongan students and provided various training programs to nearly 1,200 Tongan government officials and people. The Ministry of Education of China and Liaosheng University have sent 16 teachers to Tonga to teach Chinese language and agricultural practice courses over the past years. Radio and Television Tonga will continue to follow up on his visit. Paula for Radio and Television Tonga News.
Police have confirmed the death of a 42-year-old man from Pili who died after police pursued him yesterday afternoon. According to police statement, authorities were trying to execute a bench warrant issued on the 24th of May for the arrest of the suspect. Police spotted the suspect at the Gonfelinisi petrol station in Whanga at around 12:30 p.m. yesterday. The deceased failed to stop upon police request and he fled south of the Tawhaaha Road in his own vehicle while police chased him. The suspect stopped at Hateho where he parked his vehicle and continued to flee police by foot. Police within 100 meters caught up with him at a Hateho residence. The police officer that first caught the suspect noticed that the suspect was having difficulty breathing. The suspect soon became unconscious and the police officers at the scene quickly rushed him to the Viola Hospital. The suspect was confirmed dead on arrival by Dr. Bafilio Tangitau. A Tonga Police executive member has spoken to the deceased widow, conveying Tonga Police's condolences for their loss. An investigation into the incident has been launched. The Ministry of Education is satisfied with the vaccination rates of children ages 5 to 11, some primary schools in Tongatapu having returned to their classrooms.
Speaking to Radio and Television Tonga News, the nurse in charge of the vaccination division, Sister Rafude, said that Eweki Primary School was the only primary school in Tongatapu to return to the classroom. While all primary schools of Otumatulalo in Vava'u, Atumuamua, Lolunga Islands, and Eastern District 2 of Hapai returned to their regular school schedules. In the past few weeks, colleges returned to the classrooms as well, with teachers trying to identify weaknesses of home learning and how to best address it. But many principals believe that returning back to the classrooms is the best method to address this issue. Sister Dave said that up to date, the first dose of children aged 5 to 11 is at 98%, second dose at 91%, and the booster shots at 58%. They urges the public to support the vaccination program as it is the best way for Tonga to be protected from COVID-19 and for more doors to be reopened, including the resumption of school and the opening of the borders as well.
Tonga's power supply will be more effective when components of an electricity load shedding machine and a rental machine from New Zealand and Germany arrive in the kingdom. Tonga Power Limited will use these components to fix the two damaged power generators at the Bopua power station. These two generators were damaged after the volcanic eruption of Tonga on the 15th of January. The General Manager of Power Generation Division at Tonga Power Limited, Malakai Ahokawa, said these two generators will help minimize the electricity load shedding. There are 8 generators at Papua Power Station, and Tonga Power Limited is still waiting for the components of these generators to arrive.
The two largest of the 8 are actually down at the moment. With the 2 generators down, that represents about 44% of our capacity that we have lost at the Papua Power Station. 2 problems. First one generator, we've been waiting on parts from Germany. We've ordered the parts since January, and we expected the parts to arrive in April, but have not received it, but have since been confirmed that the parts will arrive on the 9th of June. The second one, the alternator burned on that particular generator, and we found that the problem was due to ash from the Tonga by volcanic eruption. We put a claim for insurance claim on that generator, and we're working very closely with the insurance company, and they have indicated that a claim is very likely at this stage.
He also elaborated on the main core function of these 2 generators that is currently down.
We have solar and wind, and of course diesel. Diesel remains the foundation for power generation. 90% of our power generated in Tonga is from diesel at this stage. We're working our way towards 50% renewable, but unfortunately there have been some delays with renewable energy projects, and we are still behind, and at this stage still 10%. With 44% reduction in kilowatt capacity at the Papua Power Station, obviously we have to reduce the load coming out of the diesel. So, but fortunately, with all the renewable energy, solar and wind being online at this stage, they are bridging the gap. They are bridging the difference in demand from all the customers in Tongatapu.
All of the expenses to these 2 generators are worth 100,000, and it is all inside the Power Generation Division's budget at 2021-2022 fiscal year, apart from 1 generator that will be fully funded by the insurance company. Love and patience is needed when taking care of the elderly. Those were the words of Lady Philakepa during a special program with the elderly community of Havelu, which was held this morning at the Falimasiva Hall.
The guest of honor in today's program, Lady Philakepa, said that although the program is designed for the elderly, there needs to be an emphasis on the importance of caring for them at home, especially when they reach 70 and above. I'm grateful to be recognized with the elderly of Havelu, as they felt they have been neglected for quite some time and they don't have enough energy to contribute to society. I believe caring for them at home is the most important thing in this program, so I urge those who take care of the elderly to be more patient, to understand their behavior more so they can feel loved. Tongatapu Two People's representative, Dr. Uhilam Moilangi Fasi, hopes that empowerment programs for the elderly continue as they are parts of society that aren't really recognized. The move is now to mark the significance of their efforts in the past years. 85-year-old Suliana Vea from Havelu, as well as the town officer, Vika Kaufusi, said that this program is really important. I'm happy to be part of this program, and I hope this will help other elderlies in the community. We have to first help ourselves before we help others. We have to plan what we're going to do each day and follow plans that will help us prevent dementia. I believe this program helps all elderlies in Havelu. As the town officer of Havelu, I visit elderlies twice a month to make sure they are still in good health. This program is very helpful to all elderlies in Tonga, and I hope it'll reach more communities. There are over 70 elderlies and over 10 people living with disabilities in Havelu.
The Tonga Tourism Authority recently met with the Design and Development Advisor at the PESA Plus Implementation Unit, Luke Marston, to propose vital capacity building training for the tourism sector. Waifonoto Paula again with the details.
The meeting looked at training needs that Tonga's tourism sector may benefit from, with the aim to increase locally available staff for tourism businesses, as Tonga anticipates to reopen borders. Speaking to Radio and Television Tonga News, William Mitakau, the General Manager of Tonga Tourism Authority, says training is in high demand from the industry. We are here at the authority together with the Ministry of Tourism will endeavour to facilitate these trainings. One of the biggest challenges the industry has faced over the last 3 years is businesses losing staff to other opportunities. However, we anticipate this assistance will be a huge step forward in preparing our industry for our guests. It is our hopes we can redefine what tourism looks like for Tonga, using new tools to ensure that not only the visitors can enjoy their stay, but the communities can also benefit from the assistance. Meanwhile, a similar request for support has been made by other national tourism offices in the Pacific to assist with introductory training on customer service and basic hospitality. With the assistance, the implementation unit seeks to utilize a network of local trainees and run a series of short courses. The meeting was held on Zoom and was joined by Mr. Alipate Tavo, the Trade and Investment Officer of PESA Plus IU, together with TTA managers Desa Tupo, the Marketing and Promotion Manager, and Timatapalu, the Planning and Development Manager. The PESA Plus Development and Economic Cooperation Work Program aims to develop assistance to its members by strengthening the capacity to benefit from regional and international trade and contribute to achieving economic growth and sustainable development. Waifonoto Paula for Radio and Television Tonga News.
The World Health Organization reminds us that today marks the World No Tobacco Day, the harmful effects of smoking to human lives, as the 1st or the 31st of May every year commemorates this important day of no smoking. The theme for World No Tobacco Day this year, Tobacco is killing us and our planet. This reminds people around the world to choose wisely and say no to tobacco, as the toxic chemicals found inside cigarettes is harmful to humans and the environment. Tonga is one of the countries that prohibits smoking in public areas and cover clubs. Former tobacco officer Leomoloto Havea said that people's attitudes towards tobacco has changed due to tobacco laws. I have noticed that there are people abiding to the tobacco laws compared to before. Before, people smoked wherever they wanted, but now it's different. Smoking can cause serious health issues such as cancer, strokes, heart disease, and high blood pressure, to name a few. And from the Supreme Court, a man from Sopu Osayansi Soakai, Naulu Matua, pleaded guilty at the Supreme Court this morning for one count of causing serious bodily harm. Naulu Matua was arrested on the 13th of June last year after he caused harm to Musaati Falase by punching his face repeatedly, causing a laceration. Lord Chief Justice Michael Whitten ruled that Naulu Matua's bail be extended to June, when he will reappear again in court for his sentencing. And that concludes tonight's English news package. But before we part, here's one final look at tonight's top stories. Chinese State Councillor and Foreign Minister Wang Yi has arrived in the kingdom to sign cooperation documents. Police have confirmed the death of a 42-year-old man from Bili who died after police pursued him yesterday afternoon, and there are more efforts to assist the elderly of Havelu following the two natural disasters in January as well as COVID-19. And that's it for tonight. Thank you for your company. I'm Ali Sidupo. Have a blessed evening.